But the last question is more posed as a hypothetical scenario. And basically, as I know you're a doer, and I classify you as a doer, no matter what you say, whether you want the accolades or not, I'm giving them. People know I hand them out where they're deserved. The doers that like to get out there and they break their back getting things done, and then they want to hide in the shadows and not take any of the credit, because it's not about that. But to me, I really believe that the nation as a whole, the people as a whole, have been beaten down to the point where they need to see those people. They need to grow strength from those people to know that if you're doing it, they can do it. They can take part. And I guess the way we structure the final question is you've come across someone who is what we call the newly awakened. They know something's wrong. They're coming into blossom a little bit. They don't have a lot of direction, and you stumbled on them, and you got roughly 60 to 90 seconds to talk to this individual to help them. What would you say?
Learn your Constitution. Read it, get to know it. There's groups like us all over the country. If there's not a group in your area and you want to start one, get on the website and send me an email. I'll do what I can on the phone. I'll give you information over the web if we need to, and depending on how far away it is, I'll be happy to come up and talk to people. There's guys like me all over the country that travel around, and if you need some help and some direction, there's enough people out there that we can get it for you.
And hopefully, I'm going to kind of put him on the spot here, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't know this or not, but being that we are the Watchman, which is a worldwide internet radio station, and because of you guys out there, I mean, you have even in the past venture, and now as we've branched out into our own thing, so that we have complete control of the material and what's going on in the structure of the station, and you guys have really been a vital key part of that out there. And we try to bring you the best of the people that we can find, the people that we look at and go, man, I really like that guy, I guess I put him on a little bit of a spot. And because our people out there who watch us, we do an interactive radio where they actually get to communicate. We don't really screen a whole. We bring our audience in. We allow them direct contact. Do you think there will be a way in the future to where we could have you on maybe the Lions Den or somewhere on the Watchman.biz and maybe interact with some of these people and some of our listeners and so forth? And I see him nodding his head. And so I'll take that as a tentative yes. And, you guys out there that couldn't make it, who are really relying on us to get these interviews out and to get this feed out, like the gentleman said, you may not have had the amount of finances to pick up your family and be here today. But, just as we've told you before, being a doer doesn't really have to be outside of your own community. I mean, it really starts at home. I think Bob would agree with that.
Everybody I know have started that way.
You got to fix your own house before you can go fix the neighbors, is kind of what I look at.
That's it.
And, I just want to say to everybody out there that these are the gentlemen, these are the doers and the people who are out there doing it every single day, trying to make a difference. You guys out there can be the same thing. You guys can be the doers. I mean, go out, visit the webpage, see what he's got going on, and ask questions. The man is not shy. He is completely open, and he's answered every question I've had. Heck, he was answering questions before I'm sure he realized I was the media. And, this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. And, we want you to really get involved. That's what this is about. We don't view this as entertainment. This is not a game. This is not a sport. We're not here to be media icons. We're not here to be statues on some corner in your yard. We're here to motivate you and get you to think and act and educate yourself and get involved. And, I just want to say thank you to Bob and thank you to everything that you're doing. And, that we just greatly appreciate everything you have going on. And maybe you could, any closing comments that you'd like to close out with today, and we'll wrap up the interview. But, take as much time as you need. Anything, any last minute thoughts or anything you really want to drive home to the people who are watching?
Well, Eric, I think the big thing, as I stated earlier, you kind of put you and Doc in the background on this. And believe me, it takes everybody, and the contribution you're making is just as important as anything I'm doing. And I'll say that from the heart. Number two, I'd be proud to come on your radio station anytime, and if people have questions or want to talk to me, that's fine. You know, I'm more than happy to do it. But to sort of touch on your last question there, we started out in my house with three guys that were sitting and griping and complaining, and, you know, why doesn't somebody do something? And finally the idea is, you know, anybody can sit there and say, why doesn't somebody do something? The day of the awakening comes up, though, is when you sit there and say, well, I'm somebody too. And you get out and start to say, like I said, even if two of your buddies in the house, you know. We started out from there. We've got 40 card-carrying members and over 150 people on our website as far as the one information. And it's growing from there. If I can sort of blow our own horn here, you know, we've got a sitting state representative on our group. We've got 2 retired representatives on our group, a retired senator. We've got a retired judge in our group. You know, these aren't fly-by-night outfits, and you know, you hear from people, you know, well, they're just a bunch of radicals and whatever. Yeah, you know, there may be some radical thoughts in there, but you have control of your group and how you want to do it. You know, you can make it what you want. If you want to be viewed as a crackpot down the street, you know, that's fine, but you can get out there and make a statement to your community. We had a city town council meeting in Roswell the other night, and the whole back row is clear across the council room. There's all blue shirts like the one I'm wearing today. And it made an impact because all of a sudden it's not one person sitting there complaining. They're sitting back and they're seeing a unified group. You know, it doesn't have to be rowdy or whatever to make a statement. You know, you can go all different levels and all different ways. There's many ways to attack the same problem. And making a statement that there's people that are lining up and, you know, actually willing to get out there and do something and be seen. And that's the big thing. I mean, we're not making a radical statement here today. We're just letting people know and letting the country know we want our country back. The Constitution has got to be brought back to our country, and that's why we're all here today. That's why the people are sitting in the sun. That's why the speakers are here, and that's why, you know, Eric and Doc, his family's here. I mean, Doc drug his whole family down with him because, you know, they needed to be here. Eric's here. You know, these guys don't get paid for all this stuff. I mean, they're out there. They're fighting the same battle we all are. And I take my hat off to them, I really do. And thank them for giving me the opportunity to sit here and talk to you fine folks today.
Well, trust me, everybody who's watching, I'm sure, appreciates it. And, you know, I was going to close it out rather quick, but the thing that I want to add to it, you know, as we're talking here, for those of you who will watch the interviews of Mr. Wright and everybody that we're doing, Cope earlier, you'll hear the same things. And the one word that I want to draw everyone to, okay, that every single one of these gentlemen have talked about is unity. And unity is really what we need. And that's the big thing that I want to leave people with, is that, you know, we need to set aside some of these petty differences, and we need to surround and unify around our Constitution, our liberty, and our freedom. And we need to drive that home, because unity is how we're going to win this. It's going to take a large minority of making constant pressure and constant noise. And, you know, some of us believe that there's the very real possibility that things can go into a direction that nobody really wants. But the bottom line is those of you who sit out there and you talk about, well, then nothing's going to happen unless we start doing this and X, Y, and Z, and you know, talking about armed revolution and things of that nature. Now, what I say to that is, the only way you justify at that point that it's really the right thing to do is if you've got up off the couch and got out and did all the other things that we do. That is we must exhaust the efforts that we have before us, because that is our moral duty. And to just run off like half-crazed idiots and just doing dumb stuff, you know, righteous anger is what we talk about. And that's what's building. And we want more people out, doers, talking to your communities, swelling the ranks of the freedom lovers and individuals who love liberty and freedom. And if that's what, you know, that's what you need to be about. So we want to thank Bob for being here today. Thank you for interviewing with us. And, you know, get out there and be like this gentleman. Be a doer. Get off the couch. We love all of you. Bye-bye.